Hi, this is Maria Jett with Appleseed Media. As always, Mo Aristegi is our technician. Thanks for tuning in. To learn more about Appleseed services, including video, audio, and marketing, visit us at appleseedmediagroup.com. I recently sat down with Yakima resident Israel Santillan Saliz. In this interview, you'll hear him tell the story of starting out on the wrong path, making mistakes, doing his time, and turning his life around. Israel now goes to YV Tech and YVCC, where he's learning to produce media. He's also a media intern at Studio Leak, a Yakima-based hip-hop production company. In the future, he plans to travel the world, learn as much as he can, and bring his experience back to Yakima. The track you're listening to is Hustle Music, which was provided by Studio Leak.
So my name is Israel Santillan Saliz. I'm a young Mexican-American. I grew up here in the Yakima area and in the Lower Valley. I'm a student at YVC and YV Tech. I'm second years. I'm a sophomore, so it's exciting. I was never good at school, so to be able to be in college now it's like I'm crazy. The life I used to live was basically like a hoodlum. I didn't have a father figure. I mean, the closest father figure I did have, he passed away when I was 11 years old to cancer. Great man, did all kinds of, he was just like the big old Mexican man. And then seeing him succumb to cancer and dying to that really messed with my psyche and made me realize I have to be my own man. And through that, I went down a bad path, and I didn't get involved with many gangs, but a lot of my friends were, and I'd be on the block with them, and that kind of, you are who your friends are, so that kind of put dirt on me, and I started not caring about people. I was reckless and running these streets. Ended up getting in trouble for the life I was living, and I was sentenced to prison. I did 4 years, and then they sent part of my judgment and sentence was going to prison for 4 years plus 3 to 4 more years of community custody. And I'm proud to say that today I'm a free man. I don't have to worry about checking in with nobody, and I'm on my struggle trying to better myself. One thing I am thankful for going to prison to God is because if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have woken up. I would have stayed stuck in that mentality of it's just me. I don't need to worry about nobody else. But I'm thankful now. Today, I like I said, I'm in school.
What exactly are you studying? You're here at YVC and YV Tech?
I am studying to be, the degree is an applied science degree. It's but I want to major in like video production, digital media, Photoshop, photography, how to record audio, how to conduct interviews. Like here in Yakima, they really don't have a degree or a class for that, but they kind of have something similar to it, and it's at YVCC and at YV Tech. Is a collaboration of both schools. Both programs are good. I learned a lot at YVCC, and I learned a lot at YV Tech. So. And
the program you're in at YV Tech is?
The digital media class, and they call it digital media because we're doing everything from learning how to record audio properly, how to conduct interviews, how to position the camera, the lighting. We learned a little bit of Photoshop, how to take pictures. Then we learn graphics. We learn about 3D motion. It's a variety, and then they have a radio station. So if you want to be a radio personality, you could learn to be that too. Also, so it's an amazing. I tell people it's like the most amazing place on the planet, I think. And then also I want to travel the world. So I want to take my knowledge and focus it on everyday people. I feel like we've lost touch as humanity to everybody else. We kind of forgot that we're not living for ourselves no more. We kind of have these people in this world that we need to care about, because one day somebody cared about me and they didn't know me. I remember my mom went and got gifts from the Salvation Army, and some stranger either raised money for gifts or somehow donated gifts. And so I kind of want to turn that around and help others, and like I said, shed light in their stories. And I know I'm going to run to a lot of people that don't agree with what I agree or believe in what I believe, and that's okay. As long as I feel like if they're doing something motivational in their community or whatever they're working on, I want to focus on that to show humanity that it doesn't matter that if we're not the same religion or creed or sex or color. It just matters to help one another.
So you have chosen storytelling, sounds like to me, as your big thing that you're gonna do, your way of communicating with the world. Why? What draws you to that, and what do you hope to do with it?
Mainly to inspire people that we gotta help each other out. It doesn't matter none of the other stuff. That's just stuff we've learned throughout the years to build these little, I want to say, like chain link fences, divisions amongst ourselves, to think that we're not equal or we don't deserve each other. I think I learned a lot from people older than me and people younger than me, people my age and people who are completely different from me, or they don't agree with what I agree, because I get an insight from their perspective, and that's what I'm trying to do.
As a young man from Yakima, what are the stories that you feel like you want to tell?
I want to capture people like yourself who are making moves, who are inspiring people, and shed light to that, and show people it does not matter what background you come from. In a sense it does, as a person, but for the people who don't know, you got to collaborate, you got to network, you got to make relationships. It's the only way you could, because people, it's like that saying, it doesn't matter what you know, is who you know sometimes. And I've learned that the who's are more important than what's because those who's that you don't know, they have the keys to other doors, or they associate with other people that you may, like in my case, not in a million ways, in a million days would I realize I'll be sitting here talking to you. Throughout the years I've got to know you a little bit better, and I'm like, wow, how amazing is that? Just from one, I volunteered at one thing, and I came across you, and then through you I came across some other people that are making moves here in the city, and I'm just like, wow, that's amazing, and that's where I feel like I could do my best work at.
We were just talking before we started here a little bit about what I had termed as a leadership gap here in Yakima, just in terms of representation in government and media and some of those things. What's your perspective on that as a young Hispanic male? What do you see among your peers, and are people eager to be leaders? Are they aspiring and working toward that? Are we working toward that as a community? A little bit more equality and representation? What do you think? I
see we're in a Goldilocks type of situation. There's a lot of kids who don't agree with how situations are going with the social issues, with the inequalities of, because you're Hispanic, you're walking down a dark street, that all of a sudden you're getting pulled over. But I think, like I said, we're in the Goldilocks situation where people want to make a change, they just don't know how to make that change, or what steps to, or who to talk to about making changes. Like amongst my friends, a lot of them are really intelligent, but they don't have their high school diploma or a GED, or they haven't even pursued a higher education. A lot of them, like my sister, very intelligent, but she wants to be a stay-at-home mom, which is perfectly fine. But I feel like somebody like her could inspire somebody else, But I think the path we're taking as a community here in Yakima, because there's more and more programs being available, there's more and more venues happening within this community that are bringing this up, and I think it's just a matter of time. Not only here in Yakima, but even in the Northwest, it's been untapped. There's a lot of things going on, from Oregon to Alaska. There's things going on that people don't know about, and I think it's just bubbling right now. It's simmering, and one day we're gonna have, I think, that growth, and I'm excited for it.
So, who do you see in town who is doing work that addresses that, teaching leadership skills and kind of because education is part of it, and some of that you learn in school, but some of it you learn outside of school too, especially, you know, things like public speaking and how to sit through meetings and how to pick up a phone and make a cold call to somebody, or, you know, the networking skills that you have gained. Did you have a mentor or anything that sort of taught you that? Or you also have a great outgoing personality and a good communicator, so that obviously makes a difference as well.
My biggest mentor is Blaze from Hot 997. He's a radio personality for the radio station, the local radio station. That's been my biggest inspirer. He also lived kind of like, or grew up kind of like I did, but he did away with it. He went and moved to Arizona and went to school and got his producer degree, and came back to Yakima, and now he's a local celebrity. And then he put me under his wing and taught me a little bit of what he knows and how to record audio, and seeing his life and even everyday life when I get around him. He has struggles and he has frustrations, and you know, but he tells me, hey, you know, that's just a fact of life. We can't stop, or we can't just run away from it. We got to just keep pressing forward. And that's what's inspired me is, like in my case, I'm trying to change my life, and I've hit a lot of no's a while ago, and it was getting to the point where, like, what is all this for? Why am I trying if I'm just going to keep hearing no's? And then I get around him, and he's like, hey, that's just because you're changing doesn't mean the world has changed. And I was like, whoa, that was eye-opening. And then one of the places that I feel like it's a diamond in the rough is the Casa Hogar. I have always heard of the good things they're doing, but I had a privilege last year to be around them and be at one of their venues. And just seeing the turnout of people and how many people are actually interested in trying to help the community was phenomenal for me. I was like, because one of the people that I got to talk to was Carol Folsom. And I even told her bluntly, I told her, you know, I actually thought at one point in my life, I believed that white people didn't care about anybody else. And to see this lady literally roll up her sleeves and get into the muck of things, and push and open and inspire people to donate their time or donate their funds to open these programs for the community, I was like, whoa. I was so blown away. I was amazed, because here she is. She could easily just live her life the way she lives and not worry about anybody else, but she said no. I want to do something different, and I know there's, like, you know, she was like, I know people who want to help but just don't know how to help, and maybe they can help with $1, or maybe they can help with a little bit of their time, and she used that and pushes it into another realm or another situation, and through their help it just expands. And that's when, for me, I was like, wow, if they can do it, I can do it. So that's been my biggest motivation. Like I said, I grew up in the streets. I grew up being like a hoodlum and tagging and all that. And I told myself when I was locked up, I don't want to live that life. So I asked God, put people in my life that will cause me to change, and he has. Some of the situations that have been hard, where I'm just like, I don't know if I need to be associated with you. But then I realize, or I remember that I do want to change, and part of that is being around people I'm not comfortable with, or getting involved with things that I don't think I'm confident to do. Like last year, I did the it was that fiesta. I forgot what it was called.
The Connecting Communities Fiesta.
The Connecting Communities Fiesta. I was so nervous, because I was like, people are going to expect a real photographer there, right? And I'm confident that I know how to use a camera, but I was afraid I was going to be like tripping over things, and then I remember talking to Mo about what was going on, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's going to be a there's going to be all these people, and I was so nervous. But Mo, she put confidence in me, and she said, you're going to do fine. Just do what you know how to do. And through that, I took a lot of good pictures, and I got to hear a lot of good conversation going on. There was a lot of good food. I can't forget about that. No, but at the end of the day, I was like, wow, these things are happening. I just need to start dusting off my old, I don't want to be around people type of mentality, and just welcoming in people who don't agree with me, welcoming in disagreement, and not feel angry and feel like I need to turn somebody, you know.
It's kind of a learned skill.
Yeah. And for me, that was just like, it was such, I don't know how to say it, but it was just like getting a peekaboo of what is in store in my life, you know, because ultimately I do want to travel the 7 continents of this planet and run into people, and like going to that, being at that Connecting Communities Fiesta, I realized there's going to be people like that in my life that I'm not going to agree with, and being able to be in a friendly environment and talk to people that don't agree with me made me realize one day if I'm in Japan, I might run into somebody who's going to be like, I don't agree with what you're saying. But through that, I've been able to build a bridge of communication and be able to speak to somebody who doesn't agree with me. So that's what I was just like, it was so amazing.
That's a pretty big skill to have gained.
Yeah, and I'm practicing. I practice it every day when I ride the bus, because right now I don't have a car, and sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to talk to you, but then like I said, I remember, hey, you gotta put in practice what you're learning, and I talk to these people, and some of their stories are amazing of what they've overcome or where they see themselves in 5 to 10 years, and I'm just like, yes, Israel, this is where it's at. You just gotta keep practicing, and I'm hoping that by the time I'm done with school, I've built enough of a skill to talk to people that I can get people to open up to me, and I think that's been the hardest thing for a lot of people, that they want to help people, but they don't know how to communicate or get to their level and have them open up truly how they feel or how they see their life or where they want to grow.
Do you see yourself returning to Yakima?
Most definitely. I want to return with like a golden medal. Come back to the Yakima area and show not only the Hispanic or Latin community, but everybody, all walks of life, and show them, hey man, it's going to take a lot of hard work. And there's going to be moments that's going to be so gloomy that you really, really don't want to do or get up no more. I've had those days. Like for me, one of the hardest things right now is staying positive. I lost my brother, my older brother, back in November, and I wanted to throw away with everything, and but his life, he's touched so many lives. At his funeral, I've seen so many people that, like I said, not in a million days would I realize I'd be sitting with them and laughing with them, but there they were, and they were there just because they knew my brother, and my brother opened up his heart to them, and like I said, there's going to be moments where you don't want to do nothing, and those are the battles, those are the days you're going to really have to dig deep and work on your dream, and even if it's just one foot in front of the other, that sometimes is a victory. So yes, I do want to come back to Yakima, even though I tease my brothers and my sisters, and I'm never coming back. If I do, I'm going to move to Seattle, and you guys are just going to, I'm just going to visit, but more and more as my school is ending here, I'm realizing that I need to come back. I need to come back because like Blaze came back and he inspired me. So I want to come back and inspire somebody else. Even if it's just to, like I tell some young people, you know, who knows, you might be the guy that creates the cure to cancer or finds the cure to AIDS, you know, just through a simple act of pushing them to get better into their school or focusing on what the teacher's trying to teach us. I know, like when I was growing up, computers were barely coming into play, and I remember a lot of older principals and stuff, they would tell me, you guys are the generation, you guys are the generation, and I was telling them like, man, what are you talking about? I'm barely learning how to tie my shoes. How am I going to be the generation? Yeah, it was such an interesting life growing up, because like I said, computers were coming into play, cell phones and all this, and to see where we're at today, you know, with YouTube and the internet and Facebook, and how people can stay in touch no matter where they're at in their world, I'm just like, whoa. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. We haven't really, I think, taken advantage of it. But through that, I realized, wow, we have an opportunity to do something great. And it doesn't, like in my case, I don't have to be a multi-millionaire to do that. You know, of course it helps to have millions, but you know, picking up a camera and getting your hands on a computer and learning some software, you could tell some stories.
Excellent. That's exciting stuff. We'll look forward to the day when you return to Yakima.
Yes.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.